Okay, I know last week you talked about innovation, leveraging on innovation and all that. Some of the questions asked here has to do with grappling with the reality of existing in the pandemic business environment, and then how businesses who are not in the essential category can actually function optimally. Somebody also asked, what about people in the entertainment, hospitality, events management, and marketing communication industry? What advice do you have for players in this industry? So practically, I mean, we understand the fact that there are some businesses that are not in the essential services. Those in the essential services are still on, they're still doing businesses. But for those of us that are not classified as essential, what way can we remain productive? How can we, what are the things that we should adopt? What is your advice on that? I know you gave some insights last week, but I think you can just shed some more light with respect to some of these questions that were outstanding for last session.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Femi. I'd just like to point out that generally we are in a war situation, we're in a crisis situation. So the question of being able to continue operations or survive while there's a lockdown for non-essential services businesses may not even arise, because a lot of them have, or rather have been forced to shut down. But however, for some businesses, like people like us who are in consulting and services delivery, we've basically taken to digital platforms to continue work, albeit not being prepared because we didn't set up before all of this. But it's forcing everybody. So more or less, it's the whole pandemic has forced organizations that are not that you'd classify as non-essential to start thinking of using technology here being digital. Now, beyond that, there's really nothing anybody can do. If you're not allowed to move and you're classified as non-essential, then the only option left to you is to use technology. Either you're making phone calls to your people, or you're using WhatsApp to coordinate, or you're using Skype, or you're using Zoom. Either way, whichever one that it's available and easily affordable and easily understandable by you and your team would work. So that way you can keep operations going. Like I for one, have had to migrate my entire workspace, about 35% onto a digital workspace. I'm using the Zoho app, for instance. It's Indian and it's quite affordable. So we've all moved on there, and we have our chats, we manage our projects, and we do all our email and stuff there. But again, the challenges are there because some of us are not used to these things, and we've not even had time to say, okay, let's come together and have a formal training. All of this would have to happen after the. So yeah, in a nutshell, for non-essential businesses to survive, they would have to look to platforms beyond the physical. That is the digital. For Marcom's industry, Marcom's advertising communications, I see opportunities. So there will be post-COVID, there will be a surge for people to communicate about what they do. There will be a lot more advertising. There will be a lot more engagement between corporations, businesses, and their clients. So therein is an opportunity for content creators, content developers. Generally, the truth is we are facing a reset. I just read an article about Richard Branson offering his Necker Island, so that Virgin Atlantic, Australia and UK does not go under. So if a company a brand as big as Virgin is having to take those drastic measures, then there's a problem. And I think we all need to come to terms with the fact that there's a problem. I mean, I don't want to go back and start rehashing all that we said last week about personally doing due diligence, cutting down expenses, and focusing on needs as opposed to wants. The whole dynamics have changed. You need to start thinking. I keep using the word thinking. For us in Africa, this gives an opportunity for us to be able to even say, okay, maybe this will force us to restructure. I mean, Nigeria as an example, because what has kept Nigeria as one unit, from my opinion, is the free oil money. Now, if that money is no longer there, there's a tendency that the government will descend more on the people via taxes and tolls and all of that. It just gives us that opportunity to, instead of descending to anarchy, sit down, appraise our situation, and then plan a way forward. And this leads you directly straight into innovation. I keep saying innovation, it's something I do daily, something I've also prepared myself a lot more going forward, because I think one of the ways which we can get through this is by coming together to work together. I mean corporations and communities. I mean businesses and communities. Because at the end of the day, this is our community. I see a lot of the videos about the 1 million boys and all of that. I keep seeing opportunities. There's just a lot that can be done. So maybe some people will actually even need to relook their business model. I mean, a business is a business, and an enterprise is an enterprise. So if you have the same structure that helps you deliver service A, maybe it's time for you to look at how to use this same structure and deliver service B that will fall within the essential category. Now, essential for me in this context is beyond what the government has defined. But what would be essential when this lockdown is lifted? Ghana has lifted lockdown measures. I don't know from the interaction I had a friend there, said they have some scientific information and they decided to lift the lockdown and people are moving around. Africans being who we are, everybody has gone back to same thing. We are hearing rumors that Lagos would lift the lockdown in 7 days. Personally, I don't think we've gotten to a point where we should lift the lockdown, because I don't think we can enforce all of those restrictions. So yes, businesses need to now start thinking. Now you start thinking smartly, cut costs, and look at what is it. This calls for a total reappraisal, total overhaul of businesses generally. So you want to relook what you're doing and see if it still fits with the world. I think the critical thing is for us to come to terms with the fact that it is not going to be the same again.
All
I think
right.
that's the main thing, yeah.